Welcome learners. We are today in the session of Bachelor of Library and Information Science discipline in the course Knowledge Organization Classification Practice. We are going to discuss the rules for synthesizing class number according to Colon Classification 6th edition 1963 reprint in our today's class for the generic class Humanities. The basic classes in the generic or partially comprehensive class Humanities and their subdivisions into subclasses or in different facets or arrays of special isolates and their notations, their manifestations in rounds and levels, devices used for formation and sharpening the notation for any of the isolate as and when required, facet formula for constructing class number in each main classes, etc. will be covered in today's class. Our aim today is to learn the synthesis of the class number for the subjects of any document or publication within the domain of various basic classes belonging to the humanities. The basic classes covered under the humanities are fine arts, literature, linguistics, religion, philosophy, psychology as per the Colon classification 6th edition. We present here the different basic classes under humanities. Humanities and social sciences together are denoted by the notation or digit capital MZ, and then humanities again is agglomeration as stated, just as already stated, of fine arts, literature, linguistics, religion, philosophy, psychology in Colon classification, particularly in 6th edition. Humanities with all these coverages are denoted together as the by the notation capital M, capital Z, capital A. Literature and language again form another agglomeration for literature and language class and is denoted by capital N, capital Z. We in our class today will discuss the fine arts, literature, linguistics, religion, philosophy, psychology, the nature of their components and the rules for the relationship among those components and synthesizing class number of different subjects belonging to these basic classes. Now fine arts. As already stated that fine arts is denoted by the digit capital N, and fine arts encompass creative disciplines including visual, performing and applied arts. In Colon classification 6th edition, it is subdivided into different canonical classes such as architecture, town planning, plastic art, sculpture, lapidary art, numismatic art, mold art, ceramic art, toy art, embroidery, graphic art, engraving, painting, music, dance, theatre, puppet play, shadow play, cinema, talkie, etc. in many different canonical classes. Most of these canonical classes are first divided by style. Style again is individualized by the country and epoch of origin. Thus, most of the canonical classes reveal their personality manifestation, which designate style into two levels in personality facet in level 1 and level 2 together. In level 1 personality facet or P implies country or region of origin, and P2, that is level 2 of personality facet, implies epoch of origin. Any of the canonical classes of the main class fine arts should apply the following table, should apply the following facets, such as in personality facet it is denoted by the region and is devised by geographical devised. Isolate numbers are constructed by using geographical device, and in level 2 round 1 personality facet will be denoted by epoch, and the isolate numbers should be constructed with the application of chronological device, and P and P2, that is level 1 and level 2 personality facet together thus make the style facet in personality category. Some style foci are given in the canonical class NA architecture. More such style foci under the canonical class architecture may be created by applying this table as already stated, applying the table as presented here. Similarly, style foci for other canonical classes may be constructed. Further facets manifested in their rounds and levels are illustrated in some canonical classes. These are illustrative only and may be constructed following the rules as illustrated here or presented here, and for that you may also consult the rule part in the part 1 of colon classification 6th edition. In the chapter for in fine arts, the canonical class capital N engraving can further be subdivided into canonical divisions, which are to be fitted with appropriate facet formula. Here we present an example for the main class architecture, that Mughal architecture during Akbar, the period is mentioned here, and architecture main class fine arts, under that the canonical class is architecture and denoted by capital N capital A, and India is denoted by 44, and it is used as the geographical device for sharpening personality facet. So the P facet for architecture class here will be constructed by geographical device and it will be 44, and then reign of Akbar, that is the period that will form the level 2 personality facet, and it will be, and the class number will be devised by applying chronological device. So the class number will be NA44, J. Here 44 is the isolate number in P1 or personality facet level 1, and J is the isolate number in the P2, that is personality level 2, and is sharpened by chronological device. Now we present another example, just follow this example, the model of arc in museum building in Roman architecture. Here architecture is the canonical class, Roman architecture both from the style facet by level 1 and level 2 personality facet together, that is NA5, D. It is enumerated in the style facet, that is in personality facet, but we have already shown that it is constructed by using geographical device and chronological device together for forming isolate number in level 1 and level 2 personality facet. Thus NA 5 for as the geographical notation European, and then D is denoted by Romanesque, that is by using chronological device. And then in the P3 we find the museum building, and the isolate number for museum building is level 3 personality facet is 6, and level 4 personality facet we find arc, and it is denoted by 4 6, and model is denoted in the energy facet by the notation or digit 8. Therefore, the class number will be NA5, D6 in P3 as per the facet formula, and then comma 4 6, then colon 8 for energy facet model we get colon 8. Okay, then we move on to the literature class in under the humanities agglomeration. In the main class literature, only personality facet exists. Other fundamental categories like matter and energy are absent in this class. Personality facet may exist in 4 levels: language, form, author, and work successively. P1, that is level 1 personality, stands for the level for language of the literature. The language isolates from chapter 5 are used for this level. Level 2 personality facet P2 focuses on the form of literature. The terms used for the foci for form of literary works are poetry, drama, fiction, letters, oration, etc. In general, and according to Dr. Ranganathan, these are not definite. The notations of form isolates are given in the schedules of O literature in the page 2.94 in CC 6th edition 1963 reprint. The third level P3 or third level personality facet is the author facet. The author of the literary piece of work which the book contains, or about which the book treats, or of the literary author about whom the book treats should be taken as the focus in this level. If a book is a biography or a criticism of, say, a poet, it is the poet who will be taken as the author facet and not the author of the biography or criticism. For this, see the rule O31 in the part 1 of CC 6th edition 1963. If a book is a biography or a criticism, the isolate number for author should be constructed by chronological device. The year of birth of the author should be used for this purpose. Again, in the case of contributors, a literary work may be created by a single author or a group of authors. In the case of a single author, the year of birth is taken to individualize the author. In case of a work created by a group of authors, as for example an anthology, the latest effective decade in accordance with the youngest author's year of birth is to be taken. Level 4 personality facet or P4 is used to denote the specific work by the author. It may be derived by alphabetical device, but if the number of work of an author is more, then a device of group notation can be used. For this, the works are numbered up to 8. If the number of works by an author is limited within 8, when the number of works becomes more than 8, then these are clustered into 8 groups, each group containing up to 8 works. These grouping are based upon the year of origin of each work by an author. Thus, 45th work by an author is assigned by a notation for its P4 facet as 6-5. Here 6 comes from the force 8 6 are 48, so it is in the sixth group up to 48, it is sixth group, and then after 40 it is the fifth work of the sixth group. This method, there are some critical aspects for using this method, because we have to know all the works of an particular author and the sequence, chronological sequence of all the works for arranging in different groups and then in different works in a particular group. And for this, a particular work may also be denoted by using alphabetical device in the level 4 personality facet of the main class literature. Here we present one example, Gora by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was born in 1861 and Gora is the 17th book of 59 works of Tagore. So in the level 1 personality facet is denoted by the language. It is a language facet, and language for Bengali language is denoted by the notation 157 as we find it in the language isolate. And then in the level 2 personality facet we find the notation for fiction is 3. Then R.N. Tagore in the level 3 personality facet is individualized by his year of birth 1861, is denoted by capital M61. We get it from the time isolate chapter. And in the Gora 17th book out of 59 is calculated using the device of group notation, and it is, as we see, 83, that is the group 8, and in group 8 it is the third work. Therefore the final class number for Gora, it the 17th book means it, and out of 59, that means it falls under the third group for each group containing 8 works. So 17th work will fall under the group 3, and it is the first book because the second group ends in 16. So 17th book is the first work of the third group. So the isolate number in the P4 facet will be 3 1, and finally the class number will be O157, 3M61, 31. Next we move on to the class linguistics. The main class linguistics relates to scientific study of language and its structure, grammar, syntax and phonetics, and contains the isolates accordingly. We present the facet formula here for the linguistic class, that the rational digit for linguistics is capital P. Then we have personality facet in level 1, level 2 and level 3 in round 1, then energy, and then begins the second round of facets. Here the personality facet in 3 levels in round 1 denotes, P denotes language, P2 denotes variant or stage, and P3 denotes element. And then the problem is denoted by the energy facet, and after that second round may start. The language facet, that is in the personality level 1, may be found from the enumeration in the language schedule in chapter 5. P2 variant or stage is enumerated and may be formed by using chronological device, and then P3 element is enumerated in the schedule. A dialect or jargon or slang may be a variant of a language. This may be formed from geographical variations in language. The list of variants is given in the schedule of main class P linguistics under P2. A comma should separate a variant facet and the element facet in P3. The geographical notation is to be assigned to divide further a dialect number if it is a dialect of that particular geographical region. Therefore, the facet formula for dialect is P, then language, then dialect, then geographical number of that particular region, then comes the element, and then the energy facet. Similarly, the geographical number and chronological number may be added with the jargon notation to denote the place and period of origin of the jargon. Here, the chronological number may be used up to century. A comma should separate the geographical number and chronological number. So, for jargon, the facet formula is P, that is the digit for linguistic class. Then in personality first level, language, then second level, jargon sharpened by geographical number, and then by chronological number, and then in P3 the element number, finally the problem facet in the energy category. If both variant and the stage facets are present simultaneously in a title of a document, the stage number should precede the variant number and they are to be separated by a comma. In this case, the facet formula will be P linguistics, then language, then stage by chronological number, then variant by geographical number, in both are in P2, then in P3 element, and then linguistic problem in the energy facet. Here we present some example from linguistics class. Anglo-Indian jargon. So, main class linguistics, Anglo-Indian jargon means it is from English language. So, for P facet we have to use the language number for English 111. Then jargon in P2, and that is sharpened by geographical notation. So, jargon is 9J, and for geographical notation, as it is the Indian version of English language, that is Anglo-Indian. So, the jargon for India is 9J44, and it started in the Middle English. So, the century number is for Middle English by chronological number, by using chronological devices, capital L. Therefore, the facet formula, following the facet formula, P language, then jargon sharpened by geographical notation, then sharpened by chronological notation, then element, and finally linguistic problem, we get the class number P111, 9J44, L. I repeat, capital P111, 9, capital J44, capital L. We present again here another example. Syntax of sentences of Chittagong dialect of modern Bengali language. So, linguistics main class P, then personality facet first level in the first round, Bengali 157. Then modern Bengali literature originated after 1800. So, P2 stage of P, then dialect again in P2 variant of P, and Chittagong is the geographical number to sharpen the variant. So, in P2 we get the Chittagong dialect, which comes from the modern Bengali literature, is denoted by the notation in the P2 facet by M, 9D, 44Q7212, and finally the class number will be formed as P157, M, 9D, then 44Q7212 for Chittagong using geographical device. Then in the P3 facet we get the notation for sentence is 6, and in the energy facet we get syntax indicated by the digit 3. Therefore, the final class number is P157, M, 9D, 44Q7212, 6, then colon 3. Another special feature in linguistic class is the use of specific common isolate for this main class only to denote comparative account of languages. It is denoted by the notation colon capital G. For example, here we present comparative study of Latin languages. So, linguistic, then in the personality, first level personality facet we get Latin, and then comparative study is denoted by the common isolate number for linguistics colon G within parenthesis. Therefore, the class number is P12 colon within parenthesis capital G. Next we move on to the main class religion. Facet formula for the main class religion is presented here as it is also presented in the schedule part. The personality facet enumerates the major religions and their sects. Many other notations for religions may be constructed applying geographical device, chronological device and device if required in addition to the enumerated isolates in personality facet. The sects of a religion are treated as its subdivision. Energy facet enumerates the religious practices. Here I present example Hindu temples in India, religion is Hinduism. In the personality facet, then temple public worship, and then in India by space facet. Next, we discuss the main class philosophy. The main class philosophy is denoted by the capital letter R, and it is first divided into the canonical classes such as logic, epistemology, metaphysics, ethics, aesthetics, favored system as Indian philosophy, other favored system, or any other system which may be formed by geographical device. The class R6 has been set apart for Indian philosophy, and class R7 has been set apart for any other system or school of philosophy which the concerned library favors, that is, the collections of the library specialization. The canonical class R8 holds other systems of philosophy which may be derived by applying geographical device. Some of the canonical classes of the basic class philosophy are further divided on the basis of definite and appropriate characteristics. The 9th subdivisions of them are usually reserved for special topics about which some considerable literature exists. Let us present one example here: professional ethics of teachers. In the canonical class ethics, if a book deals with ethics as determined by sociological consideration, its number will be R4, then using subject device for sociology. A book thus which deals with ethics as determined by statutory laws will be assigned the class number R4, within parenthesis capital Z. Thus, different canonical classes or main classes may be sharpened by the when ethics R4 deals with any other basic classes or main classes or their subdivisions, it may be treated under the main class ethics, such as we present an example as present the example as presented here, professional ethics of teachers. Here ethics is R4 and for teacher we have to get the main class education and using the subject device we get the class number R44 then comma within parenthesis capital T. Thus, it may be applied for logic also. So, Ranganathan's 5 fundamental categories may be classified as it goes with the main class philosophy, then logic, then categories. Next, we move on to main class psychology. Psychology is the study of the way human mind works and how it influences behavior. Here, the personality facet in the main class psychology in colon classification 6th edition enumerates the entity of the class, that is the different groups of human beings. Here the division 4 vocational include classes of persons belonging to different vocations and this may be subdivided by subject device. The division 7 race may, if required, be subdivided as Y7 in sociology or by geographical device. In personality facet, the isolates may be required to be combined by using superimposition device whenever required. And in the psychology class, system facets occur and are enumerated at the end of the schedule of this main class. When a system facet occurs in the class number, a comma should precede personality facet, as we know for the rules for using system facet, and if several system facets occur, the isolate number capital A should be used there. Here we present some examples from the basic class psychology. Here measuring intelligence of Indian children, main class psychology, then children in the personality facet and intelligence comes under the energy facet, and putting the notation with indicator digits we get S1 colon 72. Another example is here study of reflection in insane women in rural areas of Pakistan. Here main class psychology, and then insane women in rural areas or rural insane women will be formed by using superimposition device, and that will form the quasi facet in quasi isolate, that will form the isolate in the personality facet, that rural insane woman. So 55-63-831 we get the isolate number of reflection from energy facet. Then Pakistan is indicated by 44Q7 from the space isolates, and investigation, here we see the use of energy PCI. So the class number will be S51-63-831 then colon 45.44675 colon F for energy PCI. In this class, we have discussed the rules for synthesizing class numbers from the respective schedules of the basic classes covered in the humanities. Such basic classes as fine arts, literature, linguistics, religion, philosophy and psychology as enumerated in colon classification 6th edition. The synthesis is explained with arbitrary titles as examples. Thank you.